Marc Lebone here. How you all are doing today? Today I'm going to actually talk about intonation. I've had quite a few inquiries. People ask me, how do I set the intonation on a guitar? So I thought, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you today how that is done. But first, don't forget, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to know anything about my cigar box guitars, then obviously send me an email to my link below. Just to show you this one, there's another little new one out of the workshop. This is quite a nice one. There we go, and it's got a nice couple of sound holes there, single cord pickup, tone and volume on the top. She actually sounds quite nice, just acoustic. So it's quite a nice. So it sounds quite not just acoustic. Put a bit of. What I've done on this one as well, I've got a plain G, so a set of nickel electric strings. I think there's a set of 9s, I think they are. So I've got the normal G, but it's not wound, it's just normal steel. And then obviously I've got the D and the A string from a set of 9 gauge. Just gives it a different sound. Never thought of doing that before, because I've always used a wound G on the bottom. But yes, quite nice. Right, that's enough of that. So yeah, if you want to buy one of these, this one actually is going for £175. So if you're interested, not dot markers down the neck there, really nice sound, nice box as well. Okay, so what we're going to look at today is intonation. Now, obviously, the intonation is important because if you haven't got it set right, then your guitar's going to be all over the place. Now, there's different variations on bridges. Obviously, most of the bridges that I do are, also even like that one there, is a wooden movable bridge. Like these on here, they're movable. Or there's the other type, which is the fixed type bridge, which you can see there, which you've got screws here which you can move. Now the first thing obviously to do to find out, you've got to know your scale length. Now all the guitars I build, well mainly, are 25.5, which is like the Fender Strat scale length. I do build some at 27, which is the Gibson one, 24 3/4, and I have built a couple at 22, but majority ones I build are 25.5. So the best thing to do, the first thing to check is get your ruler and measure the top one, and then if you go from the top of the nut to there, and now that's 25.5. This actually got the intonation set on it. But what you'll notice, the bridge isn't straight. Obviously different thickness strings are going to adjust the intonation. So when you've got a bridge like this, it is a little bit fiddly because you've got to keep twisting it, as opposed to a bridge like this, where you can adjust with a screwdriver. And then you can probably see, if I bring that to a close-up, you can see the difference. See, they're at different positions because obviously it's all to do with that, that intonation. So the first thing to do is to measure, from the nut to there. What is it? 25.5. Perfect. Now, to actually get the intonation straight, really spot on, you need a tuner. You can do it with these, which is the headstock tuners, which you can just put on here. But I use, to be quite honest, I use a Boss or one of these type of tuners. I mean, you can get, it doesn't have to be Boss. I mean, I just happen to have a Boss one. So first thing you've got to do is tune it, make sure the pedal's on. I actually do use both. I find it's quite handy. So the first thing is to tune up your string, and of course we're doing it in G, obviously, because it's G D G. So tune it to G, which we are there. Now the difference is, now see, that is tuned spot on. This one is slightly sharp, and it also depends if you actually move the guitar as well, because sometimes you'll find if you're in this position, I don't know why it moves. Maybe the neck moves or something. So we're just, that's in G, but that's sharp. See, that is sharp on this one. So I tend to go more for the electronic type of tuner than these type of tuners. Of course, you can have it in the chromatic scale as well, not in the guitar. Let me just check, make sure I've got it in the chromatic. Yes, I have. Because if you have it in the guitar, it's going to try and think it's an A string, which is no good. So what I do is I tune it to this one. You can see that is a little sharp. For some reason, I'm not plugged in. That would help, wouldn't it? I wonder why. They're saying it's sharp. It's obviously listening. I don't understand. Right, now it's... sharp, G, and okay, that is now... See, now that's reading slightly sharp, and this is reading G. So I'm going to use this one. So you've got G. Now, what you do is, on the 12th fret, get the harmonic, and you should get G. Now, if it's sharp, then what you do is, on this particular one, I would screw this backwards, if it's sharp. If it was flat, then I'd screw it forwards. Now, a tip is, when you're actually doing that, I always detune it, because if you are going to move it back and you haven't detuned it, when you're trying to screw that, you know you're putting a lot of tension on the back here. So always detune it, move it back. Don't go mad, just move it back a little bit, tune it up, test again, and then see. And if it's still out, then detune, just slightly adjust a bit more, and then till you get it actually correct. Now, when you're doing one of these bridges, so we'll just tune that up. And also, the thing is, when you're doing this, make sure the other strings are dead. So I just put my hand on the other string, so you're not getting anything coming from the other strings, just on that one. So we're G there, and we just do the intonate on the 12th fret, perfect G. Now, because you've got a bridge like this, it's a little bit awkward, because obviously you can move it by twisting it. So what I do is I get the top G in first, and I just put a little mark on the bridge and on the body, so I know that's the position for the top. Then when I do the next one, go to the D, give it tune up at D, intonation. Okay, this is spot on because I've adjusted it. Now if it's slightly sharp or flat, then I know my position because I've marked it there and on the body, so I can swivel that slightly. I mean, it's going to be a lot out, as you can see, they're not a lot out. So again, you've got to detune, slightly move it, retune up, test again, and then so forth, right, till you get to the bottom G. A little bit fiddly when you've got a bridge like this, as opposed to the screw-in type, but you know, perseverance and you'll get there. Perseverance and you'll get there. So I just thought I'd show you that and share that with you, how I set the intonation. Of course, I don't normally do it here in my lounge. I'd be doing it in my workshop, because I've got a bench all set up where I can lay the guitar down. And I also do try to do the intonation in the playing position. I don't know, it just I've seen other vids on YouTube, you know, some of the professional guys that do this professionally, setting up guitars, and I've heard a lot of them saying, you know, always try and tune up your guitar in the upright position, in the playing position. Other things, of course, will affect intonation, obviously string thicknesses, the distance between the top and the thing, but it's always the intonation. Just check that intonation. Yeah, string gauges obviously will affect. I always try and use the same gauges. Always try and use the same gauges as strings. If you are going to change your string, oh, by the way, once you've actually found your intonation on here with one of these floating bridge, good idea to mark it, because when you change the strings, this is loose. So, I know if you want, once you've actually got the position there, I mean, you could actually screw it to the body or glue it to the body in a fixed position. But as I say, if you want to use heavier or lighter gauge strings, the intonation does slightly move. It's not a lot. I mean, I'm being a bit finicky there, but it is a little bit. So I always try and use the same string gauges. Just makes life a lot easier. So I just thought I'd share that with you today. If you want any more information, obviously send me an email to link below. If you want any info on my guitars, then obviously send me an email to my link below. Please subscribe, guys. Lots more lessons coming up. So that's it from me today. Have a great day. Ciao.